in the first and in that 30-minute conversation, what are some red flags the lady should be looking for in order to see whether or not they should move on with the relationship, the next date, first date? You know, what are some red flags?
Okay, so that's crazy because I have a book that outlines the signals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
what is that book called?
It's called Signals for High Vibrational Dating.
Okay, and that's your book?
That's my book.
Okay,
and it has the
where is it?
It's in a link in my bio.
Okay,
it's gives you the green signals, the red signals, and the yellow signals.
Okay,
and then sometimes we have an orange signal.
Oh.
But which is it's not a red, but it's not a yellow. So of course, green signals. He's intentional. He's actively pursuing you. He has a good relationship with his family. Like those are the general ones, right? But then you get into like yellow flags and red flags. For me, for my girls, any man that says that he's looking for an independent woman is a red flag.
Because that's a man who is not. He doesn't want to take care of you. He's not looking to take care of you.
He's looking. Look, now you're confused. Why are you looking like that?
I want to hear the rest.
Okay.
If you think about it, a lot of men nowadays are preaching like, "Oh, all these women are independent. You're an independent woman, but you want my money and da 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 da." Like, if you think about it, you can. Okay, I'm not gonna say all because I was an independent woman before, but I can still be taken care of. I still know how to be submissive. I still know how to be in a relationship. But there are some independent woman who is like, I don't need a man for anything. And a man, like we were talking about in our last podcast, like men like to feel needed. Men like to feel needed. They like to, you know, they're the ones who are the providers. They like to take care of. So if you're an independent woman, there's not much to take care of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so all right, so I like that. All right, well, before I say what I have to say, I want you to tell me the other red flags before we can get too far.
Well, I wanted to add to that. So I teach my girls I'm independently dependent upon him. Right. So I can stand on my own, but when it comes to my receptiveness to receive, I'm allowing that. When it comes to me, I don't believe any woman should be looking anywhere but to her man if she's in need. She shouldn't have to get on the phone and say, "Oh, so and so and such and such, and I'm in a bind." No, you tell your man, or, "Hey, babe, so like today, like I got a podcast. Okay, what you need? You need some food over there. What's going on with baby girl?" Like that type of energy, right? How a man is supposed to provide relief. A lot of women are looking at men for an escape. In reality, it's supposed to be relief
for like the financial gain, but nothing more. And so I was. Finish with the red flags.
No, okay. So other red flags may be anything like the raising the voice, the him not respecting your boundaries. So so say we're in the first conversation or something like that, first or second conversation or second date, and he's like, "Oh, I take Ubers to my dates." If he doesn't send me the Uber, I take the Uber and I'm expecting him to Uber me home, or my ladies, whatever. This is what I teach my ladies. But
you expect him to Uber you home.
That's the expectation.
Why is that expectation? Let me play devil's advocate.
So if on the first date, so like I learned this a long time ago in network marketing, you book a date from a date, right? So you book a meeting from a meeting, so you book a date from a date. So if he asks me out on the second date, right, that means now we're getting into something. That means we have to start the vetting process. Are you willing to do something that makes you uncomfortable or that you don't necessarily do to provide me ease and comfort? Because that's what I'm looking for, right? Mm-hmm. Because I know as a woman, like you said, he gonna bring home the meat. I'm gonna cook him a meal. I'm gonna multiply whatever he has. So if he comes, this is great. So in order for me to know that he's a man that is deserving of that, then I have to vet him the same way he's going to vet you.
Right. So what if part of his vetting process is she gonna expect something out of my money? So now I'm gonna tell you something as a man. So me personally, I'm the type of man, I say this all the time, if I could touch the sun, I could put my physical hands on the sun, I'll bring it to my lady. You know what I mean? But the minute she acts like I have to, now we have an issue. Because I feel like once women get to the point where a man has to, you're supposed to do that, the appreciation is eliminated. So if a woman was to look at me like standing on the curb after the date, and I'm like, where the fuck, like, you not going home? Like, and she's like, where's my Uber? Like, and she does that with her neck. We like she's gonna be outside. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And respectfully, as a gentleman, I wouldn't let her go through, being on the side of the street. But that would be a red flag for me because of the expectation. Like, you're just expecting something out of my pockets. Respectfully, one of the green flags for me on a date, and this might go against what you tell your sisters, you know what I mean, your ladies, the beehive, is when I'm on a date, does she reach for something? Now, I mean, whether it's reaching for her wallet for the tip, reaching for the check just to be cute, things like that. It shows me the appreciation. And why do I say that? Is because a lot of people will fake it just to get a free meal, just to get a free experience. So anytime somebody's walking in that, a man is supposed to, a man has to, I'm already looking like, you're not going to appreciate what I want to do for you. Now, because in your head, I'm supposed to do this. I date. Do I want to bring her up? I'll bring her up. So I dated a girl that she was very much like that. Like, you're supposed to do this stuff. And every time I would do something, I didn't. Though. Yeah, exactly.
But that's not what I teach my ladies.
All right, yeah.
So just like if you were to give, going with your Fortune 500 company, just like if you were to give feedback, or if somebody is a new hire, you're going to give them the standard and the expectation. I was in the military, so we have standards and then we have expectations. The standard is across the board. Expectations are the step above. Okay, so my ladies have a list of standards and then they have a list of expectations. So the standards is the bare minimum that he has to have, or for you to be treated this way. The expectation is like, it's a little razzle dazzle, a little cherry on top. You don't necessarily need it, but that's something that you're expecting. And there's a difference between entitlement and expectation. So entitlement is you're supposed to, don't you know who I am? You're gonna treat me like this, or whatever. Yeah. But expectation is you just ask if he does it, he does it. If he doesn't, then now it's because we're taking notes, remember, because this is for real. This is my life. If I'm choosing my life partner, I have to be serious about it. So I'm taking notes. Noted.
And it's more so like you're it's not like you're setting him up to where you're not saying anything and he's just supposed to do it. It's more so like, hey, I'm gonna over there, if you mind, you Uber me back. Right. More so like setting it up versus like just him not knowing and then all of a sudden he's supposed to do it just because that's what you thought in your head. So I get what you're saying. So it's more so like the setup of it. Like, there is going to be a discussion about it. Yes. And I'm going to ask you to, and I know that I'm expecting it. I know that that's something that I'm looking forward to, and you don't know that, but I know that. So me asking and setting it up is like my way of seeing, I guess, how far you're willing to go.
There you go.
I like that. That's very interesting. Cause like with my lady now, so I told the story on the last podcast episode, and it seems like I always talk about my lady. Who cares?
Yes, come on now.
One of the biggest green flags, especially living in Atlanta, is that like a lot of people are, again, like I said, they're out here for a free meal. My lady she wanted to spend time with me so much, she was willing to pay for her own way. From her paying for her own way on that one time, it trickled down into you're never touching your card again. You know what I mean? Because you showed me that appreciation. And I think a lot of men, especially like men of value, I'm not going to do the whole high value thing. You know what I mean? But men of value, they kind of fear that woman that is, she's faking it because she just wants the security, the financial security. It's like, I worked this hard for everything I've done, and here you are with your hand out. So it's definitely a interesting perspective when you say that.